like you don't notice something, but why would you think that? Here, now Tom. Here to remind you. And remind myself. I remind myself.
Stephen,
That's why I gave you that book.
I successfully ended this one and started the other one, but I did the wrong camera, so I have to have it facing this way. Why would I need those? Oh, I knew this one.
Oh.
But I think I set the camera. That would be helpful. It might have to have it facing the other way. So can you get it on your phone so we can see if it is capturing the right scene? You know. It seems wiggly. But that's a different problem. The other.
too big. That's what they have in India.
They have it in there, they have it in Europe. She said she just uses, she has all the little blocks, she changes that.
Sure.
Yes. She yes.
His bathroom. Okay, I think
Must be the you.
I'm sure I can go.
But we saw it, yes.
Oh, okay.
Remember?
Oh, yeah.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to New Thought Center. Thank you for bearing with us for a few moments. We're starting a little bit late today, technical changes, but we're good to go now. So thank you for coming out on this kind of cloudy, little bit rainy day here on the Lanai, and a big welcome to all of you at home watching our live stream. I'm Cindy, and I'll be your facilitator this morning. And our presenter today is Michael Sudman, who will introduce in a little bit. First of all, we'll start off, as we always do, with a reading from Science of Mind. And Barca will lead us today.
Thank you. So I'm Barca, and our reading today from A Guide to Spiritual Living, Science and Mind is Embracing a World That Works for All. And we'll start with a couple of quotes. First one is by Sharif Abdullah, Creating a World That Works for All. By accepting responsibility, we take effective steps towards our goal, an inclusive human society on a habitable planet, a society that works for all humans and for all non-humans. And next, a quote from Ernest Holmes. You find me 1,000 people in the world who know what religious science is and use it and live it as it is. And all myself see to see, I'll myself live to see a new world, a new heaven, and a new earth here. How many systems keep today's world running? Politics, education, economics and finance, science and medicine, technology, hospitality, social services, military, criminal justice, law, and many others. Once we start breaking things down, a world that works for all is a world where all these systems operate in a world that benefits all people, animals, ecosystems, and the planet. Talk about lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, that's a lot to consider. But how do you get to the wonderful world of Oz, one yellow brick at a time? In CSL's global vision, we see a guiding hand pointing the way forward. We envision a world where personal responsibility joins with social conscience in every area of the political, corporate, academic, and social sectors, providing sustainable structures to further the emerging global consciousness. Are we approaching this process as if we were visionaries, architects, contractors, electricians, bricklayers, plumbers, and interior decorators? All invested in understanding what it is means and what it will take to create a world that works for us all? Are we embracing this possibility? Or are we avoiding it out of fear, apathy, and disbelief? Each time I share my thoughts in these daily guides, I try to stir the pot and have repeated certain concepts. I will keep doing so until I know we collectively live the vision we set. Lives depend on the vision becoming reality. Are you ready to gather, discuss, plan, and build? And here's the affirmation. I bring my time, talents, treasures, treatments, and tools to the activity of creating and building a sustainable world that works for all. I bring my time, talents, treasures, treatments, and tools to the activity of creating and building a sustainable world that works for all. Thank you.
Too many things going on here. Thank you, Barca, for that reading. It ties in nicely with our theme for today. We'll be talking, I think, a little bit about the collective journey and also our personal journey and how they kind of fit together. So let's just kind of go inside for a few minutes and center, kind of breathe into, if you want to start thinking about your own journey, the collective journey, or our place in this society, in this universe. And we'll come back in a couple of minutes when I ring the bell. Okay. Thank you again, everyone, for coming out on this kind of gray day to be here at New Thought Center with all of us. Do we have any new people here today? Anybody here for the first time? Yes, would you mind telling us your name?
My name, Joachim.
Joachim? Welcome. And welcome again to all of those following online. I think we have kind of a large following online today, actually. Here to see Michael. So most of you know then the history of New Thought. I've been a member here for just a couple years, but the center, the history dates way back to the 70s, and has evolved to where we are today. Um, we welcome people of all faiths and traditions. We celebrate the oneness of spirit that transcends any differences in beliefs. Um, and like I said, Michael will be presenting in our service today the myriad of ways our life's journey influences us. Um, and we have a new musician today. His name is Doug Kinnear, first time here. Um, would you like to give us another song?
Absolutely. Here we go. I know you, you know me. We don't take any time to be just alive and feeling good and having friends in the neighborhood. How could I know how good my life could be if I never knew some pain? Know what it means to value everything and to know that you are free. I know you and you know me. Let's take a walk by the edge of the sea and hear the waves and smell the air and start to feel like you don't have a care. How could I know how good my life could be if I never knew some pain? Know what it means to value everything and to know that you are free. I know you and you know me, and we don't take any time to be and look around and give a smile and tell the world that your love is inside. How could I know how good my life could be if I never knew some pain? Know what it means to value everything and to know that you are free. I know you, you know me. I know you, you know me.
Woohoo! Thank you, Doug. Very nice. Some of you may know Doug from playing. I guess you live in Hulualoa, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you play some music around
I
town.
played First Friday, just last Friday, and it was fun. You have to be by good food so the people stay
Right.
and
Okay.
listen.
Okay. Sounds good. And you're from.
I moved here 10 years ago. My wife is from Captain Cook, and I landed on mother-in-law's coffee farm with 815 trees, not knowing anything about coffee. So I went to the master gardening class and learned that you could stump them, and they wouldn't come back for 3 years. So that was what I did. And because I wanted to go organic as well and not use Roundup like my neighbors with the moonscape. So I learned how to weed whack and to trim trees and how to pick. And my wife's faster than I am, but she's been doing it her whole life. But we came up with some pretty good coffee. And then last year, I bought a house in Holualoa and spent 300 days in a row remodeling it. And I'm happy to say I'm in.
Wow, yay.
It's nothing like being in. So I'm really happy to be here. So.
We're happy to have you. Thank you. All right, let's see what comes next. I think we're just about to, let's see. Oh, miracles and ordinaries, one of our favorite times of the service. There's much wisdom we can learn from each other through sharing our spiritual experiences. So if you like, please come up and share your experience with us. If it's something, profound that happened in the last week, kind of made you shift your thinking a little bit, God kind of knocking at your shoulder, and or if it's, just something ordinary that inspired you. Anybody like to have something they'd like to share?
Sharing a miracle is a fun job. Somebody has to do it, so I'm doing. But really, this is having everything come together with all the sound problems we came over with today at the very last minute, and I'm still not positively why not it's working now. It's like it's just too incredible. It's got to be a miracle.
You have anybody else, little miracle or ordinary they'd like to share?
Aloha, I'm Jean. So, as some of you know, I broke my foot early December. So, I was out of commission for about 6 weeks. It really kind of sucked. But I did, see the silver lining as we always do. And then the other day, just 3 days ago, the ocean was calm and I went out for the first time and the water was wonderful. And no, I didn't get to see Mr. Whale or hear him, but he was out there and it was so lovely. And our Alan's brother and sister-in-law were here, and I came back and I was really cold and wet, and I just wanted to get to that outdoor shower. And so I was kind of moving and really fast, not looking where I was going. And next thing I knew, bam, like a sack of potatoes, I went down. And I'm like, really? You're gonna just really? And I landed on my shoulder and my cheek. And I felt like somebody had punched me out. It was kind of like, whoa. And so I laid there kind of moaning for a bit, just going, trying to assess. I didn't hear any cracking. I didn't have the major pain that I had when I broke my foot. I just went, I think I better slow down. Because I used to just, when I was young, I just bouncing off walls. And, well, I can't do that anymore. But mainly, I want to thank powers that be that I did not break my face or my shoulder. It's a little sore, but I'm good. And I'm claiming I'm going to watch where I put my feet. Thank you.
I think that's something we can all relate to. Thank you, Jean. Anybody else have a little miracle or ordinary they'd like to share? Okie dokie. I think we've got a little miracle with the rain coming here. It's been coming. Isn't it kind of funny when you can anticipate it? It's like, where's the rain? Where's this kind of, there's this tension. And then, whew, thank you, it's raining. Come on down. Thank you. Okay, where are we now? Let's see. Okay. We're going to ask everybody a question, we meaning Michael, that has to do with today's presentation. And then we're going to pass the mic around, let everybody share. So, and answer the question kind of briefly if you can, maybe 1 or 2 words, introduce yourself and We'll let Michael ask the question.
Hello, everybody. So I first want to say I expect miracles all the time. So that's what I'm hoping to talk about today. Does anybody want to describe, or can you describe, a time where you have a thought, but the first thinking about that thought is casting doubt on what your thought was? Can you describe a time?
Can you give an example, maybe, of what a thought might be?
Well, it'd be nice to talk just about Jeannie's miracle, and her affirmation or her statement that she made in there was, I have to slow down and I can't do this anymore. That's casting doubt on her ability to flow freely through her life. It's not right or wrong. It's just we do that automatically in our thought process. Our ego starts to talk louder, and we say these I am statements that are limiting. And that's what I'm going to talk about today. Mhm. Sure.
Would it just be name an obstacle to your
Thinking.
claiming a miracle? Then we
Yeah.
can just name one in an obstacle. Okay.
So name a time when you have a doubt,
Okay.
when obstacle, a circumstance that prevents you from taking action.
I'm Cindy, and anytime I say I should or I should have.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm going to take a voyage on a boat, but my cat just died and my girlfriend's sick and so on and so on and so on.
Mhm.
This way.
I'm thinking.
Hi,
Say your name and you.
I'm Kathy.
Kathy.
I am Alicia Leilani. And hello, hello, loud enough? Okay. And actually, yesterday something happened that underlines this question. I was walking up the hill with my groceries, and the hill was quite steep. I was walking very slowly, and I was thinking, wouldn't it be nice if some of those cars that are driving past would see that I'm walking up the hill with a heavy grocery bag and stop. Next thing happened, I was nearly at the top of the hill already. I was nearly home when a car stopped, and the driver, truck, and the driver so leaned out, "Hey, would you like to have a ride up the hill?" Quick manifestation. I was there already. I was 2 drivers away from my house. And I said, "No, thank you." And he said, "Well, you're so welcome. I see you. But I'm already home. Thank you." So he drove off. And I could feel his sincerity. And I could feel how he was so willing to open up, to do something that usually he wouldn't do, stop people on the road and ask them for a ride. So what came out of this for me was receive without resistance, as you would give without resistance.
Aloha, I'm Tiare. That's a good question. I have a few things, but the one obstacle I would say, like fear, uncertainty of creating to create more abundance. Challenges, of course, finances, living in Hawaii, especially if you're on a single income, is creating more abundance. So getting over that obstacle. So that's a good one. Thank you.
Mhm.
Hi, good morning. My name's Alexa. I'd say my doubts come, they're always personal doubts, things about my career and timing. But if I just trust Holy Spirit, usually they go away.
Thank you.
Hi, Rosalia. It's been forever since I've had one of those moments. But whenever I hear the word trying, that triggers me.
I'm Shayna, the yard sale queen. And this week I spent a lot of money, happily.
Hi, I'm Dama, and when I rally for peace or pro-Palestine, I sometimes feel fearful. So there's a doubt there for my safety.
I just know that we are all divinely guided and there are no mistakes. So whenever I doubt or should on myself, I just really remember that it's all perfect.
My name is Pasha, and the obstacle that I have to deal with sometimes is being too reasonable. Because like last week, my intuition told me bring the backup computer, but my reason said, oh, it hasn't been needed for months. It's just don't bother. But I'm trying to overcome that obstacle and pay attention to the intuition.
I'm Tony, and I think probably when a situation's coming up and the brain goes, you got to prepare. And so I start thinking about how to prepare, but not necessarily as in, okay, this is the reality. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a practical kind. It's more like the more I plan, the more it's like, but what if, what if? So those what ifs are down. I don't do it a lot, but if something's coming up and I get triggered and I get fearful, but what if, what if? And that generally doesn't run in my brain, but sometimes it does.
I am Jatayu. When I can't speak, I have doubts. So I'm speaking.
In June 17, 2019, I was filling up my car with gas and it caught on fire. And I got in a gas station fire and burned my legs. And I was kind of mad. I was like, God, I try to do the right thing all the time. What was that? And so it was a lot of pain and a lot of hospitals. And but it worked out. And actually worked out pretty good in that, because I was a person I was, I guess, I got some kind of settlement out of that, and that helped things. And I'm seeing a acupuncturist and trying to get rid of the pain in the feet, and that's going to work. And I'm going to be just fine. And I didn't burn my face, so what can you say? I'm pretty happy about that. So, nor my fingers. Right on. So it all works out.
Hi, I'm Patty. I have to think more about that.
Hi, I'm Barca, and I'll notice an obstacle when I start using closed body language and
I'm Sally, and I am fortunate that all of my obstacles are behind me.
Yay.
Wow. Rub some of that on me. Thank you. I'm Candy. This is kind of a funny thing. I'm the kind of person who's real clumsy. But it's so funny. The things happening recently is I'll drop something and catch it with the other hand, just like that, lickety split.
Hi, I'm Jan, and I like that everything always works out.
Good morning. My name is Reagan. The obstacle appears right before somebody hands me the mic.
Good morning. I'm Don. My training has been, or college education has been as an electrical engineer. Here I am in Hawaii. Not a lot of call for electrical engineers over here. But the training has taught me to look for why things don't work. I almost always go to the negative. You know, you say, well, let's do this. And that's great, but how? Well, how are you going to do this? And that has created in me a mental game of balance, balancing the yeses and the nos and finding out how to correct the no's so that you can get to the yes.
My name is Chris, and two things. I tend to have a glass half empty attitude and a scarcity belief that overlays everything. It's not just money, it could be money, but it's love, attention, whatever it is. There's a piece, there's just not enough. And I know that it's a pattern, and yet it's there.
Morning, I'm Stephen. The bottom line is it's always some kind of doubt. And usually, dig deep enough, it's like, I'm not worthy. And of like things going right, worthy of going right, it's like, I must have done, I'm not sure. Anyways, I love the chorus. It says, all doubt is about yourself, who you really are. So working on that.
Good morning. I'm Kit. I would have to say my obstacle is my intense need for social justice and my need to disengage from the world at times. I am in Hawaii. I'm here now. I can't be elsewhere where I see injustice happening, and I have to do what I'm doing here to bring strength to the collective for them. So that's my challenge, to not get so angry. Thank you.
My name is Joachim. I'm here now, and I have faith that everything is good and will be good.
Marcus?
Aloha, my name is Marcus, and I would say how are we going to create this? The other thing, I try to live in the moment. That's really important for me.
Good morning. My name is Eddie. Aloha. My thing is trust, or trust myself. Occasionally when I'm doing something, I have question to myself. Do I trust what I'm seeing? Do I trust what I'm hearing? Do I trust what I'm being told? It can be simple as when I'm at a stop sign, looking at a car coming towards me, and I'm trusting my instinct. Is he going faster or slower than I think he is? So that's my thing.
I'm Terry. My main obstacle is fearing that I can't do something.
Did everybody get a chance to share? Okay.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you for sharing. Okay, now about Michael. Michael Sudman. I'm sorry, what? Oh, did you want to answer the question?
Do I want to answer?
You
the
better.
question?
That's what I'm hearing.
Yeah. I think I started out by saying I expect miracles, and I have been studying Course in Miracles for about 2 decades. And there's a concept: you don't have any problems, you only think you do. So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay. All right. Let's get right to it. Michael Sudman is a self-titled thought scientist, an explorer, author, poet, entrepreneur, and is always searching to grow spiritually from the inside out. For many years, he has been a student of A Course in Miracles. Michael grew up in Hollywood, California, in a culturally aware Reformed Jewish family. He refers to it as Jewish adjacent. Although he did not have a particularly religious upbringing, he has always had a connection with a higher power. Events and experiences on his journey have been influenced by New Thought, history, travel, and world culture. Michael made Hawaii his permanent home more than 6 years ago. After the passing of his wife, Cheryl, 2.5 years ago, he had a spark inside his heart and realized that all of the love he has gathered in his heart is created from all of the events and experiences he has witnessed throughout his life. Michael has published 3 books available on Amazon. He is also a family law attorney focusing on conflict resolution, assisting families in high conflict child custody cases. In his practice, Michael understands that thoughts are things, and his life unfolds accordingly. He truly believes you are what you think about most of the time.
So test this mic. Am I popping? Sounds good. Hi, everybody. I'm actually really, really excited to be here today because I've been thinking about this talk for a while. Pasha asked me to talk about the pilgrimage on the Camino de Santiago, and I'm going to try and talk about that today. It was a 500-mile walk across Spain. We started in Basque Country in Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, France, and walked all the way to Santiago de Compostela. It was 38 days of walking, about 13.5 miles a day. The longest day was 24 miles. That was a really difficult day. And the shortest day was actually one of the most difficult, was the first day. We climbed through the Pyrenees Mountains up several thousand feet, and we were walking with our backpack, and we were thinking, we're trained. Yeah, so we got on the job training. So I was starting out by always saying that I believe I'm the light of the world, and that we all share divinity in a way that is based on an energy flow, and that you guys are also the lights of the world. And together, through forgiveness and acceptance, we can do a lot of the healing that is necessary for this human short period of time that we're existing on this earth. Our souls are eternal. So a miracle to me is any time or any moment I can change my disturbed thought to a thought that's closer to joy. So I'm a hippie, and being a hippie, you sort of say, well, oh, everything's perfect, everything's great. But I think that everything's perfect, everything's great is because of the process that we hippies look introspectively. We try to find out, answering the questions to ourselves: why, how, when? And sort of we go by our feelings. We know how we feel, and unfortunately, we don't always follow them. So I believe a miracle is a gift from God, and it's an unconditional gift. It is unlimited, and they're available all the time. All we have to do is be willing to witness those miracles. And they happen in every single point, like not getting hurt when you fell was a miracle. The falling itself is irrelevant, right? You had the result that probably was vibrating at the high level of vibration that you always vibrate. Every time I've met you, which is a couple of times now, you have a high level of vibration. So even the fall, the result is sort of high level, right? So one of the best parts of that gift is free will. We get the choice to choose our thought, to choose what we think about our thought, and what we judge the results to be. So, in that concept, we are always one new thought away from changing our lives completely. My pilgrimage to Santiago, the way of St. James, that was my third time. I walked 125 kilometers in 2018. I walked 250 kilometers, about 155 miles in 2019. And then I did 500 miles in 2025. It's an amazing experience. And it is an example of the collective consciousness. It's originally a Catholic pilgrimage. It started in around 820. Alfonso II walked from Oviedo, Spain, all the way to Santiago de Compostela. And he did it to dedicate that church 100 years before Notre Dame, the Catholic diocese, and I don't know if it was just the Spanish Catholic diocese or the whole Catholic diocese, built this church right there. And why did they build the church there? There's a myth or a saying that St. James the Apostle in 44 AD was martyred in Jerusalem. And they loaded his bones on a ship and they sailed all the way around from Jerusalem to Galicia, which is what now in the Finisterre, people then thought it was the end of the earth. So they brought the bones to the spot where the church was dedicated. And Alfonso was famous, or in the line of like 6 Alfonsos, that helped to push the Moors out of southern Spain that occupied Spain for 700 years. So we're talking about medieval period. Wow, the Camino de Santiago, you walk and you're walking with people, and the energy that you share in silence is natural. The bees and the birds and the bugs and the plants and the wind and it's all happening. And even though you're walking in silence, it is loud, and it's nature talking to you and touching you. At one point, the poplar trees were snowing. It was snow, and we were doing snow angels in poplar blooms. It was all over Spain. The first 3 days is France in the Pyrenees Mountains, and you come down into Spain to the Kingdom of Navarre. You walk for about 10 days in Navarre. Then you go into Castile and Leon, another kingdom. That is the line of Catherine of Aragon. And then you go into Galicia, which was founded by Scottish settlers. And so a lot of their rituals and rites have Scottish crests and things like that. Each place, I of course wanted to learn Spanish, but in Barcelona, no Spanish. In most of those parts of the country, they had a different language completely, like Galician, so they didn't understand my Spanish, but the people are very welcoming. In 500 BC, the story that I'm about to tell is sort of like the new thought is really old, right? So Lao Tzu said that the journey of 1,000 steps begins with the first step, right? He was a philosopher. He's famous for writing the Tao Te Ching. And for 2,500 years or so, it's been interpreted and translated 10,000 times. And we as New Thought people now think of some of the 81 paragraphs or 81 chapters of the Tao Te Ching as sort of a guidepost for us. It says that when you try to name the Tao, you diminish the Tao, right? That means when God created the heavens and the earth, it was good, right? And everything that happened after that, that's in alignment with God, with higher power, with the universe, with spirit, with Allah, with Jesus, with Jehovah, whatever you call it, it's good. So everything else is what we make, right? We make it. Co-creation is always in alignment with God. We make up stuff that are illusions. They're not real. The Course in Miracles says, nothing real can be threatened. Nothing unreal exists. Herein lies the peace of God. And what it means is that we know already. So I really love the Christian Science and Science of Mind and all the people who have tried to bring spirituality to like scientific tools. We're not trying to make a new Bible with the Course in Miracles. We're not trying to challenge anybody's religious beliefs with the Course in Miracles. What we're trying to say is there's a different way to think about our thoughts. So I self-proclaim myself a thought scientist. Thought science for me is specifically, I believe all thoughts start out pure. They come from nowhere. They come from that undescribable poof of energy that creates life itself. That poof of energy that creates life itself is the beginning of every thought, and there's never an action that doesn't come from a thought. So at the time of the original poof, we were matterless, right? We were a piece of energy, just like a plant or a flower or a rock or whatever. And at some point throughout eternity, we got an ego. And that ego is edging God out. And it talks faster, it talks louder, it talks first. It's all those things that you say to yourself that I can't, or I won't, or I shouldn't because I, right? Because I, oh, it'll take too long. So back to my Camino. In 1979, my life was changed. A young lady walked up to me at high school. I was on the smoking lawn, and she stole my heart that day. So it's interesting how I think of it as thought science, because Cheryl died in 2023. We were together for 40 something years altogether. We broke up and got back together and had kids and raised them. And then she got pancreatic cancer on her 60th birthday and passed away 62 days later. That was my first book, a 62-day journey, is the updates I was sending to all of the friends and family. And it turned out that they were a narrative of this short journey of love, light, and grace, because when she went through it, all of the principles that we talk about, she lived them. She was kind to every person that was at the hospital. She smiled, she joked, she sang songs. She wanted to care for us all the way through. And this fast process took her life really quickly. But in 1979, I remember exactly what she was wearing. I still do. So I could think about the loss as something devastating. I do, right? I hold that thought, something devastating. But as the description that Cindy read, I really do believe that I only take away from my wife the thought that I was so fortunate to spend all of those years with her. And the things like her death sit in my rainbow heart as a darker gray scar that is part of the colors of my life. It's just one of the things that is part of Michael now. Someone mentioned living in the now. I believe most thoughts happen either in alignment with love or in alignment with fear. So thought science works like this. Wow, I have a pure thought. I'm going to become a lawyer. So me personally, I was really bad at school, going into school. I had lots of doubts. Like I literally started cutting school in 7th grade, and then I got into law school. So all the rest was theater. If you guys want to hear that story, ask me back again. I'll tell you my law school journey. So that thought was a pure thought. But right away, I said, God, I really never went to school. I can't do it. I was a theater major in college. They're not going to accept me. I have 2 kids. How am I going to do it? I have a job. How am I going to do it? Right? That was ruining my pure thought. The pure thought was, I want to be an attorney. I want to help people. I want to do it. A love thought completely from my heart. And you heard I'm from a Jewish adjacent family. So I didn't really have a choice. Like my mom said, you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer. And I wasn't that good at math. So I became a lawyer. That's sort of another joke. Yeah, so in 1979, Cheryl, what was her name? She changed my life. She was the one who encouraged me to say yes to law school. She was the one who took care of the kids in the morning when I was studying, and we did this together. And our whole life was built together. And she so believed exactly what we're thinking now, which is if you form your intentions based on a pure thought, and then you take actions based on a pure thought, the results from that are going to be in alignment with that high vibrating energy. It's directly going to happen. You can't have a happy ending to a miserable journey. We've all heard that. So you take thought science and you keep it pure. You don't start thinking about your thought. Instead, you follow that love that God just gave you this great thought, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to form intentions around it. I'm going to take action. And in my faith, I'm going to let it go because I know I did those things in alignment with God. And guess what? I got accepted to law school. I got the parking place the other night. When I fell in Spain, I happened to fall in a place that didn't get me run over by a truck. So, yeah, they're all things that are all related to the way we think about things. Bad things is a judgment. Good things is just a judgment. They're just things. So let's go back to thought science. I really don't want to do this. I don't want to do it. And then you still, for some reason, form intention around not wanting to do it. And then you go and you do an action, not wanting to do it. It's horrible. I can't. I'm going to fail. They're not going to accept me. Oh my God, what are people going to think? All of this stuff. And then guess what happens? You start to force the result. You're worried, you're scared, you're nervous. Even if it comes out good, you've already suffered through the whole thing, so it doesn't really matter. The result is irrelevant. The result is always going to line up with the thought. So if you have the pure thought, you keep it in love, you keep forming your intentions in love, you take actions with love in your heart, you're going to have a result that's going to be pleasant. Can't we call it pleasant? And it's okay to have unpleasant thoughts because a lot of the people said that when they changed their thought, it felt good again, but they knew right away that it wasn't feeling good again. I mean, they didn't say those words, but that was what I got from what you were saying. All of the thoughts we have are pure until we start thinking about our thoughts. And the things we think about our thoughts are all those beliefs, all the baggage we bring from our past, all of the hesitation, the risk, and the successes and the achievements and all the stuff from our past comes in. Then we have the future thoughts. Those are the ones that are scary for me. What's going to happen? How am I going to do it? What, is it going to be the way I thought it would be? But how many times in your life have you said in 5 years, I'm going to be doing something? You may be doing something similar. You may be doing something adjacent, I love that word, to what that was 5 years from now. But guess what? It's a new thought. It's a new place. It's a new moment. And you're going to be in that one. So the ones we want to live in are now. We want to say, what is that intuition? Pasha said, what is that intuition that's telling me not right now? I don't want to do it. And can we have the strength to voice that to ourselves? You know, that 10% of the time where you just rationalize and make up an excuse and go ahead and do it anyway, and then you complain about it to everybody. So I'm a divorce lawyer. Nobody has a good divorce when they tell the story. They just don't. So my client said, oh, well, that's not going to happen because my hairdresser told me that she had this person in there that just went through a really bad divorce, and all these bad things happened to that person. And I said, well, but that's not your case. She says, well, yeah, but I'm worried that it is going to be my case. And I said, change your thoughts about it. Why don't you answer the question and say, I'm working with a really nice lawyer. He's settlement oriented, and he asked me not to tell this story in any negative way. You know, it could change your mind. I asked them not to talk about the divorce to anybody because no facts are the same. No situation is the same. Everything, every action, every invention throughout time starts with a thought, an idea, an inspiration, an inkling. What I know now is true is intuition is God answering my prayers. It's said by a lot of us spiritual talkers, you know, that prayers are us talking through the Holy Spirit to God, and intuition is God answering back. So we should listen to our intuition. We always know by the way we feel if it's right or wrong, and that's immediate. It's immediate. So when you feel that, should I? No, not for now is a good answer. It doesn't have to be no, not forever. So you don't have to have all the guilt and association with, I just told my sister that I was going to be a hairdresser, and now I'm not going to be a hairdresser. So what's she going to think? It's just a different thought. We judge it. A rose and a dandelion are only different because of judgment. In 1940, Wayne Dyer was born. Another thing that changed my life. I don't know what it is, if it's the tone of his voice or the words that he uses or the collective consciousness that he puts out, but his words are transformational for me. And a lot of the things I say come from Course in Miracles, Wayne Dyer, Alan Cohen, Florence Scovel Shinn, Gabrielle Bernstein. We're all saying the same thing, and it started way back when. So thank you, Wayne Dyer. So I started writing a book about the Camino, and let me step back. When Cheryl died, I had those updates. I was presented with those updates in a beautiful folder with a ribbon on them. And the person who gave it to me, Cheryl's aunt and uncle, they said this would make a really nice book. And so I wasn't really prepared in my brain to write a book about it. These were just updates about her illness. And my son and daughter, who have been really the most adulting adults that have ever happened. They're just taking care of me like crazy. I published this book. I added a little prologue. I took word for word those text messages, and then I wrote in there what my expected speech was going to be at her memorial service. I don't know if I said any of that stuff, but it was written. So this book came out, and what it did was it dotted an I and crossed a T for Michael, because I had transcripts that I started and books that I doubted myself out of and concepts that I wrote 4 chapters of and put it in a drawer. So I thought, God, you know, it's nice. I did it. I have a book on Amazon. People started calling me and texting me saying, you know, I miss getting your writing. And on September 25th, 3rd, 2023, 1 month after Cheryl died, I started Today's Thought. Now I have 2 books of Today's Thoughts. I've written close to 1,000 poems. I send them out each day. I write them each morning. If I write 2, I never send the second one. So I have a lot that I've written but generally I get a thought, and that thought is pure, and it comes right from my heart, and it goes right through my fingers onto my phone. I've never done a thought on a computer. I've always done it on my phone. Weird. It's weird. But this thought the other day I wanted to share with you. I am me, walking around inside a thought experiment. Weighted inspiration. Who did I come here to be? Whispering voices guide my path. Answers to prayers singing in the key of intuition. Open to hear the tune. Filters shade the bright light diffused through fearful anticipation. Forgiveness adds needed clarity, depth, and color. Sounds of morning quavering with nature's influence, floating in on a breeze. A cool touch of a dewdrop rolls down my cheek. I came here to be me. I'm a little better than the best I can be. Made in the image of goodness and love, I am me. Just a thought. It took 5 minutes to write. It pure and came out, and it's going to be in a book someday. I plan to do 7, so it's red and orange, and then yellow's coming next, and then green, and so I'll have a rainbow of books, and I have enough poems to do it now because my favorite number is 122, so I have 122 poems in each book, so I'll do it. So I started a book about the Camino, and I just wanted to write a little bit of read a little excerpt from it. 2025. We left Barcelona on a beautiful spring morning. Our mission for that day was to make it to Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port, France, the official starting point of the Camino. We arrived in Spain 3 days prior, the date of the pilgrimage, prior to the date we started our pilgrimage. We wanted to have a chance to get on European time. We flew halfway around the world from the Big Island, Honolulu, San Francisco, Zurich, and then Barcelona. Luxury hotel on the water, perfect for relaxation. We explored the city of Gaudi, exposed to his style and large footprint he had on the city of Barcelona and the entire country of Spain. Bright color adorned the unique architecture of all the Gaudi works. I appreciated it immediately, Gaudi's use of rainbows. Not the arching type, but the myriad in colors and dots, mosaics, and modernism shapes. I was immediately inspired by the thought, what an impact Gaudi had on this city. My mind raced about history, art, and the time periods where massive new thought changes in the world happened. I was thinking about my pilgrimage and the other pilgrims throughout history, all of the origins of the pilgrimage, exploration of the various routes to Santiago. I was thinking about the personal lifetime routes, journeys and experience followed by poets, artists, great generals, kings and queens, thinkers and philosophers, and many more. On each of those 3 days, we walked about Gaudi's city mile after mile on streets through parks and in and out of churches. In training for what was to come, we chose to leave our backpacks at the hotel as we roamed Catalan. Different language than the rest of Spain, different food, different culture, sophisticated European people dressed to the T's. We watched and appreciated the families in multiple generations share meals together at local eateries. I realized at that moment that we're all connected. We all walk a pilgrimage through our own lives. We're all pilgrims, each on our own unique journey. We grabbed our packs, just enough in them for 3 days. We did not have to bring food or cooking stuff. Each of us packed each of our packs weighed approximately 27 pounds. I filled an empty Perrier bottle with the rest of my Patron tequila that I purchased at a duty-free shop at the airport. I knew tequila was not a popular drink in Spain. Since I had some left, and I thought it may come in handy, I carried a thermos full of coffee also. We walked 5 miles from our hotel to the train station. We traveled on a high-speed train, and we arrived at our starting point. So on that day, I also wrote a thought, and I sent it to all of my people. And that thought was this: Day 1, Barcelona, information overload, planes, trains, and walking, mapping out, open tunnel to paradise, sending love and light at the end, guided by spirit, reinforcement of calm ideas, embarkation soon, taking off, clothes on my back, journey begins, open doors, holding on to the strap hangers, baggage at my feet, swaying with the flow, stepping forward as a pilgrim on the path, the journey towards a new perspective, on the platform, waiting to go down the track, my toes are on the edge, whispers and smiles for me to witness, audible silence in the background. The Camino affected my life in a way that was really, really special. And one of the things that happened was I recognized a triangle. It was a simple triangle. And then in that whole concept of like, what does everything mean? The triangle has been a symbol around spirituality, religion, math, science, the language, the delta. It's this Holy Spirit, God, us. It's mind, body, spirit, and the Camino is, but I think it's in a different order. It's body, mind, spirit, because first your body takes it. You definitely recognize your body. The Jewish star is made up of 2 triangles, one imposed on the other, intertwined, one pointing up and the other pointing down. Some say feminine and masculine. At the top of the first triangle is God, the higher power. The next spot is, sorry, I'm spacing out. No matter what power you believe in. The second point is the Holy Spirit, the conduit where we talk to God. The third part is divinity, all of us. I see the bars between the triangle as the flow of energy that I talked about, the poof. And that flow of energy goes through as free will. And we're constantly battling the question in that God triangle of making choices or listening to the ego. The second is thought at the top, the pure thought, the one that comes, the poof of energy, the life source, that's your thought. Then you have fear and love. And you go around and the energy is flowing. The energy for a love thought is a high vibration thought. I was explaining it before, and it's going to result. And high vibrations fly fast, and they're going around this triangle in a fast way. Fear thoughts don't do that. They're sluggy, and they're slow, and they take up space, and they ooze around the triangle, colliding with the light. But once we're willing to see that the light never disappears and that the fears are unreal, the flow goes better and we feel better. So I look at that interconnection of the Jewish star among all the Mason's triangle, all those other things that I mentioned. And I'm going to do more and more research about how we're all connected. Earth, wind, fire, right? Heaven, earth, people. That there's just so many triangles that we all live in. And I wanted to share that with you. That was an exciting thought I had. So we float around in free will. We can choose what we're going to do. We can make our disturbances as short as possible. But enjoy those disturbances as part of you. Enjoy them. The only reason they're bad is because that's what we call them. We don't have to do that. We can take it as good, if you want to label it. I take them both as me. So I appreciate it. We formed a group of people. Some of them have spoken here before, including me, and we're doing a 3-day retreat on the other side of the island. It's March 27th through 29th, and it's called Miracle Vision Tour. There's 5 presenters. We're going to have farm-to-table curated food for all weekend. There's going to be a welcome party the first night with live Hawaiian music, and the second night is a future self party that is a time machine. So everybody's going to come to the party as what they believe, if all their dreams come true, would be in the future self. And we have a jazz quartet playing that night. The food is going to be fantastic, and it's going to be a really good experience. There'll be a past life regression therapist, bioenergetics training, body awake yoga in the morning, walks to the cliff beach. We'll be doing dream building, thought science, actually to be able to go into it in a real detailed way of how to live a joyful life. So hopefully you guys can join it. There's some flyers over there, or you can look at miraclevisiontour.com. michaelsudman.com is now live. It's going to be pretty cool. This is I've never posted anything until like 3 weeks ago, and now I'm like, okay, 2026 is, my voice is going to be heard. I'm going to be out there. I'm going to be talking. I'm going to be saying stuff. So thank you. I love all of you guys. I really appreciate the opportunity to speak here. I always do, and I'm always glad when I get asked. So thank you.
Thank you, Michael, for such a comprehensive and relatable talk. I think a lot of helpful tidbits in there, just kind of golden moments to remember. I like that if we are having a little difficulty or a disturbing thought, is like to go for the higher vibration. Just kind of look and see which little light is shining, which direction to go to, and yeah. Yes, exactly. Okay. Let's see. So Michael's got some information on the table there. If you're interested in the retreat, sounds like something for everybody there. Fabulous. Is it a week long or is it a couple days?
It starts on Friday and ends Sunday.
Sunday. Okay.
Sunday 5 p.m.
Okay, great. And there's information on the table, and also a couple of your books are there as well. Okay, terrific. Thank you again. And now it's time to pass our koa bowl. If you can share some heartfelt prayers or share some green stuff from your wallet so we can keep wonderful people like Michael coming to inspire us.
The truth in every part, knowing from the start is where I'll find you. Peace is here. Seeking ye shall find. When children grow up kind, they'll learn to open minds and let love fill them. Learning while they play, with peace in every day. They'll learn to show the way, to share the planet. Peace is here. Everywhere. We're alive, coming to save, feeling the power, showing the way to the high. People are made, loving inside, sharing the truth, sharing the right to this world. Ooh, sharing this world. I sit here all alone. My thoughts, they are my own. They tend to wander on until they find you. Peace is here. Everywhere. Peace.
Okay, thank you. Doug, I was going to ask you, do you write your own songs?
Everything you don't recognize is an original.
Very good. Okay, we've got some announcements here. Like Michael said, his information is on the table over there, or you can find him on his website. And also, Doug, you have your CDs over
Yeah,
there?
years ago, I was at Unity Church of Clearwater, and I wrote songs for kids to sing for 4 years, once a month. And the best 12 of those are on a CD that's probably 35 years old now, and but it's a CD. If you have a player, please take one. I'm also on iTunes and Amazon if you want to listen to some of that music. It's all centered on the 12 powers of man, and it's a fun CD. If you love it, please make a donation to the New Thought Center on my behalf.
Awesome, thank you. Okay, coming up at New Thought Center, our Sunday services start at 10 o'clock, of course. Next Sunday, we have Nancy Shipley Rubin. She'll be speaking on embracing the fire, empowering the coming year, and Joe Conti will provide the music. On the 22nd is our annual membership meeting and luncheon, music by Kaimana Lighthawk. It's a welcome ceremony for new members. And I'm also going to mention that if you want to become a new member, there's some sheets. There's no obligation to become a member, and we're not exclusive. So if you go to another church for service, that's fine. But there is a form for you to fill out if you'd like to become a member. They're on the table over there. You can also find them online at newthoughtcenterofhawaii.com. So that's our membership meeting on the 22nd. And on March 1st, March is coming up already, my gosh. Arliss Dudley Cash will be here we're not sure what she's going to talk about yet, but I'm sure it's going to be fun. And Viboda will be providing the music that day. Weekly classes on Mondays from 4:30 to 5:30, Jin and Wang, and Tai Chi and Qigong of all levels. It's $15 per class. Come a little early, 4 to 4:30 for the long form. And we also have Wellness Wednesdays. So this coming Wednesday from 4 to 5. And then Star Root will be taking a little break, and those Wednesdays will resume on March 4th. Monthly events, our end of the month potluck is coming up also on the 22nd, right here on the Lanai. Crystal Bowl meditation was today. The next one is the second Sunday in March. That'll be March 8th. Special events. We have workshops coming up. Nancy Shipley Rubin next week. We'll have a workshop here on the live from 1:30 to 4:30 with a $30 cost. Tuesday, the 17th, ceremony with Star Joyce, Illuminated Heart Activation. That's in the Hanoa room from 5 to 7, $35 to $55, depending. Again, I mentioned, okay, if you want to become a member, everybody's got that. Prayer requests. We do have a prayer ministry here at New Thought. So if somebody, if you want to submit, ask for a prayer for yourself or for somebody that you know, we have a COA box over there. Just fill out the little form. We only ask that if you're asking for somebody else, get their permission ahead of time. Yeah. Let's see, mailing list. There's also a sign up on the table if you're not on our mailing list to get our newsletter. That's always a good. It comes out usually on Wednesdays. You can find out what's going to happen the coming Sunday. Does anybody else have any announcements? Something to mention? Pasha? Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So I'm the treasurer on the board of New Thought at present, and there's certain things that are supposed to happen in January that didn't quite happen in January, but almost in January. So I have I prepared acknowledgments for everyone who donated at least $150 in the course of 2025. And maybe somebody actually is so motivated they want to do their tax returns now. So anyway, so I see two of you are here that I have something for Sally and something for Reagan. But even if you didn't donate quite that much, if you do want a written acknowledgement, I can do that. Just let me know. Just a clarification, the Star Route is already on break, so don't show up for Wellness Wednesday this week. She has her family visiting from Kansas City, so she's focusing on that for the rest of February, but looks forward to starting up again in March. Yeah, and you're going to take care of. Oh, by the way, what Cindy didn't say is she's the editor of that wonderful newsletter. So, yay. No, thank you so much for that service. And you're going to talk about lunch, right? Yeah.
Thanks, Pasha. When she mentioned taxes, see, my brain automatically went, uh-oh. But then I thought, no, that's not the way to think about it. It's going to be fun. I'm going to get lots. Yeah. No, it's going to be fun. Wonder I'm getting lots of money back. Okay, so we are going to take Michael to lunch today. We're just going to go right up here to the Chinese restaurant. Anybody like to join us? Could I get a count of hands? 1, 2. Everybody's got to rush home for the Super Bowl, I guess. Okay, 3 or 4. Okay, 3 or 4. Wonderful. Okay, thank you to everybody. Thank you, Doug. Thank you, Michael, and to our sound people. All of you joining us live stream. And here on the Lanai, we're going to circle up into our closing Aloha song.
Okay, I'm going to get us started a little bit differently today. in any group of people, if you ask them to sing a song like Happy Birthday, you're going to have 6 different notes starting out. And by the middle of the song, everybody's kind of getting it, and it's good, you know? And especially if you're singing in Hawaiian, most of us don't know all the syllables that well, so we tend to slow it down and sing it more like the dirge.
Yeah.
Well, Hawaii Aloha is a happy song, so
Happy.
it doesn't have to be that slow. Now, to find the perfect note, I've come up with what I like as my note, but I'll say, well, let's all sing that together. And then afterwards, let me know whether you think it should be higher or lower, because I'm a male, I sing a little lower, but I was a tenor. Often when we sing together, I'll just drop it up an octave and sing an octave higher. So at any rate, this is a note. Now say A. That's the first syllable. A. No, you drifted off. A. Here we go. A. Hawaii. E kuone hanawe. Kuhome. Kulaimine, Orino Awina Ono Nanio, E Hawaii, Aloha, E Haorina Opio, Maina ahe ahe mani e pamaine. Mauke aloha no Hawaii. E haoli ngā opio oraine. Maina ahe ahe mani e pamaine. Mauke aloha no Hawaii. Mauke aloha no Hawaii.
Wonderful.
Let me start again.
It
always
You brought it in.
Well, we tried.
So are you thinking about becoming a member at all? Or no, I'm not pushing or anything. I'm just curious.
Yeah, I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
I'm going to visit some other churches too and see.
So just kind of see
I'm
how-
going to see what the Unity Church is like. I really love the setting here, and the
Yeah.
feeling is really wonderful.
Yeah, Unity. I mean, we have members that go Unity. They come here.
Right.
I mean, I think it's also nice. I think we're a little funkier. I think.
I think so. I like it. I like the participation with everybody.
Yeah.
That's really nice. You people that involved and say something into a mic is right there. Religious experience, right?
Yeah.
You know, so,
So, okay,
but thank
cool.
you for